today is a first for Other Duties as Assigned. It's an emergency podcast. I think emergency may be a stretch, sweetheart, but it is definitely a on-location podcast for sure. We're at the AI show, the show. It's an AI innovation show in San Diego, California, and happen to be traveling with my wonderful wife, who is being honored as an AI innovator at this show. And I get to be your plus one, which has been great. We've heard some really cool speakers and had opportunities to talk to some really cool folks. I got to meet Colin Kaepernick. That was pretty awesome. But we've had some really good conversations about AI just between us, but other people we've talked to, and thought it would be really cool to kind of touch base and just share some AI things that we've been doing, because we've done an AI podcast once before, but like anything in the tech world, it's changing rapidly, and we're seeing some new things all the time.
Yes, and just being here and talking to a lot of people in the ed tech world and in the public schools world, in the college world, about how AI is changing, like Brent said, every day, and what we need to do to keep up on it. And what we're hearing a lot of is this AI literacy piece, and making sure, students are diving in. We want them to explore, we want teachers to explore, but we do want to understand the bigger picture of AI and using it responsibly and ethically and efficiently for a future that we can't even see right now.
Well, it's funny, we were at dinner last night, and a gentleman was just asked us why we were here, and we mentioned AI, and he got super scared all of a sudden, right? Like, all AI is scary. And it's interesting. It's like, I said to him, it's like every tool there is, whether it's a tech tool or a tool in the workshop. You got to use the tool correctly. You got to use it safely. You've got to be thoughtful about how you're using it, when you're using it. And if you do that, then the tool can be really beneficial to you. And we've seen some different ways we've been using this tool. I laughed when we just kind of talked about, hey, what are we going to talk about? We recently used AI to help us plan our family trip. We came out west a couple weeks ago for spring break and did some national parks, and we used ChatGPT as a thought partner of, where do we stay, when do we go, how long do we spend, which hikes make sense, and it takes into consideration the age of the kids that are with us, all those things. It helped us with packing lists. It helped us with all kinds of stuff, and man, it was so good. And we used it. I probably used it for the better part of 3 or 4 months as we planned the trip and kept kicking ideas around. And last minute we decided, hey, let's have one home base versus moving a bunch of times. And it was a really good resource for that. And I really liked it. And that's not an education application, but it shows you that if you're thinking and using it in your work life, that you can then kind of translate it to make everything a little bit easier.
Yeah, and I think that we're using it in ways that we weren't even thinking about 18 months ago when, as a district, we adopted Magic School AI as our platform for students and teachers. But, it's like anything. The more you use it and the more you talk with others and collaborate, that's the big piece of this. It's kind of like this adventure and journey together. And I know every time I talk to Brent about it, I, gain better ideas and insights when we talk to colleagues about it, when we talk to friends about it. I mean, we really are on this kind of adventure navigating this together. One of the things that I think holds so much power is this writing feedback for students. I think of, when I was in the classroom and I taught 4th grade, and, I kind of dreaded collecting writing assignments because I knew how much time and energy students were putting into the work, and I wanted to be able to match that with my feedback, but I could never turn right around and give them that feedback. So you turn something back to students a week later and they've kind of lost their interest in the assignment. You're ready to move on as the teacher, and I think now capturing feedback immediately when students are ready for it really personalizes their learning and allows them to make changes during the process instead of after the final piece has been turned in. So I think that holds so much power for educators and for students.
Well, and the feedback tool, especially in Magic School, gives a lot of positive feedback too. So many times when we focus on writing feedback specifically, we're using a lot of red ink to show where we can make improvements and what was done wrong, and hey, spelling and grammar and focus and all the things. And now, these feedback tools also kind of tell kids the good stuff they're doing, and oh, that's a really good idea, and you did a really nice job of bringing in evidence here, and all those things that, you as a reader, as a teacher, you see those things, But man, you're spending so much time finding what needs to get better that you don't have time to focus on that. And I think a lot of kids are feeling that positivity and that feedback, and it makes them want to use it. You know, nobody wants to always hear the bad, they want to hear the good too. And I think that's really good. I think one of the things that I'm thinking about more with AI too is just prompt engineering is the phrase that people use, but how do you ask AI what to do in a way that's going to get you what you want? And I think a couple tricks that I've heard recently is tell AI the role that it's serving. Hey, you are a high school principal, or you are a high school teacher, or you are a middle school student, and then tell it what it's going to do. Or you're a marketing expert and are going to give me some suggestions about, giving it a role before you even get started. The powerful one that I've been using lately is telling it what I'm going to want it to do, and then I tell it, hey, before you get started, ask me 5 questions that'll help you do a better job. And then it shoots out 5 questions to me that I can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and answer very briefly. And man, I feel like my answers and my solutions and the generative AI things that I'm doing have gotten a whole lot better since I started doing that.
I love that, and I think that as much as it helps us, then we have to teach students how to do that. We have to teach them to continue to be descriptive and be very specific about what you want, and it is a learning process, but the output will be so much better when we can really harness the power of prompt engineering.
Well, and just modeling for kids what it looks like, how to use it best, and telling them, hey, I used it like this today, and it saved me so much time. It may have nothing to do with what you're teaching, but you're going to get, the kids who, you're going to get kids thinking that direction, thinking about ways to use the tool correctly and in a responsible way, and that's ultimately what we're trying to do. One last thing that I thought of that we did the other night is we were working on a professional development conference that we were working on, and we had a bunch of data that you had in a spreadsheet, and we were trying to figure out, what sessions should we run for teachers. And 5 years ago, we'd have gone through and counted how many people picked each session and try to come up with some solutions. And we took that spreadsheet and threw it into AI and asked it to, hey, told it what it was, told it what we were doing, and it created a great summary of how many people responded different ways, and then what kinds of sessions we could create or find to match the needs of what the teachers were asking for. And man, it was, did it take us 2 minutes to type the prompt and upload the spreadsheet, and next thing you know, what would have probably been a 45-minute endeavor at least was about a 2-minute one, and probably more insightful than maybe we would have been able to come with on our own.
And those kind of insights, right? It's not that we couldn't have done the work, but now we're freed up to do the other work that we're going to really enjoy doing. It's that heavy lifting.
Well, and it gave us a chance to, okay, now which teacher do we know in our district that we could ask to do the different sessions? And I think that was the part that you and I needed to do, and not the counting and the kind of summarizing that the AI was able to do for us. We're really lucky to be here, and it was kind of fun shot for us to spend a couple personal days and get out and get to see some really cool things and meet some cool people. And I got to meet some of the people that you've worked with in different groups at Magic School and some of the others, and it was a great trip, and we got some added insight into AI, and filmed a podcast outside in the sunshine. I think it's rainy and cold in Indiana right now, so I'm glad that we're here. So thanks for joining me again.
Yep, it was great.
All right, thank you.